going. So what it said, right? A 3/4 chord can't be broken. So you see that it's the Father, it's the Son, it's the Ruach HaKodesh. Now what we're looking at John 4 is this right here, John 4, and he said, "You worship, you know not what the hour come and now is when the true worshipers shall worship Abba and Ruach." See, it's doing it again. See, it ain't going. The connection's not strong enough. When the true worshipers shall worship the Ruach, worship Abba and Ruach, and in truth. For the Father seeks such to worship him. Elohim is a root, and they that worship him must worship him and Ruach. Because remember what he said is that if one falls, let's just go back and look at it. Ecclesiastes chapter 4. This is still counsel. This can on outward appearance and not inward. One prevail against him, two shall withstand him. So let's look at withstand. It means to stand, to remain, or to endure, or to take one stand. Ayin, Meme, and Dalet. And you may proceed. Say one, if one prevail against, the word is a mod. Yep, we'll stand. All right, y'all not to be playing because it's not the time for playing. Dang, I can do that. So Ayin, Meme, and Dalet. And I think we used this word before. So when it says two shall withstand them, that means we're going to make it stand. Two will endure. And a 3/4 chord shall not be broken. What can this mean? Ayin, Meme, and Dalet first and foremost. Anybody got anything for that? Whole time I didn't realize she was sitting on the toilet. So you got Ayin, you got to know. You have Dalet, and then you have, don't really want to do that. You just want to know that you know the blood of the sacrifice. You know what was shed on your behalf. Why do we say that? Hebrews chapter 9. If you follow closely, this is going to deal with what we're going to look at later. Because, that, again, atonement ain't got nothing to do with you reconciling with somebody. He said the Ruach HaKodesh, matter of fact, back it up. Hebrews 9 and 6. Now, when these things were thus ordained, the priest went always into the first tabernacle, accomplishing the service of Elohim. But into the second went the high priest alone, once every year, not without blood, for which he offered for himself and for the errors of the people. So what is this referring to? This is referring to atonement. I was talking to a dude months back. My brother just tell him that Leviticus chapter 16. And this is what atonement was about every year, was to make reconciliation for the people. Because you're supposed to make reconciliation that they're offended. But see, now I heard a brother say this the other day, not everybody get offended. Like a dude said, there's no such thing as internet bullying. And I agree. Does anybody agree there's no such thing as internet bullying? Who believes there's a such thing as internet bullying? I'm being serious. Either or. You got adults say people they get cyberbullied. Exactly. So there's no such thing as cyberbullying. Because you like it. Even if you're a child, nigga, log off. You're going to sit there and continually log on to an app with somebody talking bad about you, and you could just easily log off. You're ugly. Mama, they told me I was ugly. Well, log off, and you still on there. Well, nigga, you must be ugly then. So we're going to walk around the house and tell you ugly, because you keep logging on there for strangers and tell you you're ugly. So you like it. No, seriously, though. So you can't be cyberbullied because you allow it. You tolerate it. You know what I'm saying? So, everybody's offended now. Niggas offended what? Because, niggas with schlongs say that you should date him because he think he a woman. He offended because you say, I don't want a woman with a schlong. Howdy, sir. What am I going to do with that? What am I supposed to do with that? I want to have kids. We can adopt. That's not having kids, nigga. You don't have any ovaries, sir. You don't shed your uterine line. But everybody get offended. You tell a nigga something, he offended. What's the first thing niggas like to scream? He hating on me because the nigga told you I don't like your music. Oh, you just hate? No, I don't like it. I hope you have all the success in the world, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I don't like it. Do you feel like everybody's supposed to like everything you do? You know what I'm talking about? You think a nigga's supposed to like every outfit you buy? Everything you say? Nah, ain't nobody supposed to like it. Well, y'all know your husband should like it because you walk around there looking like an Amish school mom. He might not like that. I hope you don't like you walking there looking like one of them castaway hoes putting knee-high boots on. What? You were young, sneaking out the house. You stuck out of the house. You know how I know? Because your mama told me. I don't know what your mama told me. She said, yeah, that nigga thought I didn't know she snuck out. She said, but I knew. Your sister over there running and interfering. Like, I don't know. Talking about she in the bed. I knew them were pillows. Yeah, she told her. What you like to do, right? Put the pillows in there, make it look like it's somebody in there. That's what you like to do. It said the Ruach HaKodesh, this signifying the way into the Kadash of all, was not yet made manifest while the first tabernacle was yet standing, which was the figure for the time then present in which were offered both gifts and sacrifices that could not make the service perfect as pertaining to the con. Now look at the key thing, right? Because a lot of people like to say that the law won't make you perfect. He was talking about that sacrifice. If I take a bull and a goat, that's not going to make your mind be complete or be innocent and with integrity. That's not going to do nothing for you. But if a Mashiach offered himself up, then that can allow your mind to be perfect. He said, a servant is not above his master, and everyone that is perfect shall be as his master. Let's continue. He said, withstood only in meats and drinks and diverse washings, and carnal ordinances imposed on them until the time of Reformation. But a Mashiach being a high priest of good things to come by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building. So if this tabernacle is not made with hands, what does this tell us? Now this is the one that's being prevailed, because if his tabernacle is being destroyed, then that means they did what? They prevailed against it. What's the first thing you should think about if you sit back and say they prevailed against him? It's fourth as one of the tribes of Yasharal. Who should you think about? One of the tribes, one of the meaning of the names of the tribes. He said, one shall prevail, two shall withstand. One shall prevail, it should say kazak, or overcome, or be stronger than. Two shall withstand, two will endure, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken. So you have a tribe of Yasharal, one being prevailed against. No, that ain't Judah. It ain't Judah. It is Gad. It is Gad. Because what does Gad mean? Who did? I didn't hear him. I did not hear him not damn time. Well, shoot, you must have been the only person who heard it. Anybody else heard it? Well, probably because he backed y'all back there with it. I didn't hear him up here. Oh, I see where your mind at. You want some 93 octane? Oh, let's say now the word for prevail here is it's a different word that I'm used to, and that's to ka. It means to prevail over, against, overcome, or overpower. Now for that you got tau, kuf, and pay. So if you got tau, kuf, and pay, guess what you got? You got the words of the final covenant. And the words of the final covenant says what? That Yahusha had to be sacrificed. Because what did it say about Gad? It said the truth shall overcome him, but he will overcome at the last. At the last. Who also told you? Because in the multitude of counselors there is safety. So if Gad is giving you this counsel, clearly Solomon is giving you the same counsel, that if one is prevailed to overcame, then two endure. So now you're going to have to ascertain who's the two that endure, so that this 3-4 chord cannot be quickly broken. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 4. Chapter 4 and verse 9, if I'm not mistaken. Come to Job 19. It says, know now that Elohim have overthrown me and have compassed me with his net. So he's letting you know. Job is speaking. This is Job speaking. He said, know that Elohim has overthrown him. What did Yahushua tell Pilate? You would have no power against me except it was given to you from above. It's Elohim who's overthrown me. Behold, I cry out of wrong, but I'm not heard. I cry aloud, but there is no judgment. Y'all know what that is. That's self-explanatory. He said, he has fenced up my way that I cannot pass. He set darkness in my paths. He stripped me of my esteem and taken the crown from my head. See, this is the thing, right? You know, y'all ever heard the statement casting down crowns and all this other stuff like that? Well, you know, it was a dude, and he had a relevant point when he used to go by it. You know, in order to pick up your crown, you have to put your crown off. Yahusha took his crown off. It was stripped from him. You could kind of see that when they put the crown of thorns on his head and then beat it off. But it was already stripped of him when he decided to become a man. Well, not even the sole key thing. We look at this here, right? This man was instructed from the foundation of the world to sacrifice his own life. And he did it willingly. And remember, when we look talking about willingly, we talking about kafas. We talking about with delight. They're looking at atonement. And I keep stressing it because I don't want y'all to look at atonement as far as apologizing to each other. Because you should have did that 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? You should have been did that. If it's an issue between you and your spouse, then y'all niggas need to sit down like adults and reconcile that. It don't make no sense to have no schisms in your household. You know why? Because Mashal, through the mouth of Paul, Mashal said there shouldn't be no schisms in the body. How can the body operate completely if you have separate parts that's doing their own thing? That doesn't work. You over here doing this, I'm over here doing that. There's absolutely no. Could you imagine if your arms did what they wanted to when you wanted to walk, but your arms decided to move instead of your legs? Imagine how you would feel if you had to poop, but instead you urinated instead. You didn't even have to pee, but your urinary tract decided I want to release bodily fluids instead of the bowel that's in your intestines that's desiring to get out, and it just stays there till it's ready to go. Just imagine if your body just did what it wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's kind of messed up. You got a schism and it ain't gonna work. And if you have regular bowel movements, then you understand the pain of that what I just spoke. See, you must don't have regular bowel movements. So you shaking your head, or you shaking your head or something. Because if you got regular bowel movements and you can't poo when you want to poo, oh, that sucks. That sucks. Was for prevail or overcome. And we mentioned that as the words of the final covenant. Now let that sink into your mind. He said, I am destroyed on every side. I'm gone. And my hope he has removed like a tree. I don't know about that technique. I'm not familiar with that. You have to explain further. That should. You think about the state? Let me read it again for you one time. He have me on every side, and I'm gone. And my hope he have removed like a tree. You got something? Well, sure. Why not? You're not any fun. Chapter 19. Job chapter 19, that's verse 10. Huh? I have to look and see what word is being used here. And then I can inform you rather quickly, sir. Tekiva, then that is his expectation, an outcome. Indeed, but I'm talking. Adam destroyed on Eve from life. He would already known that the tree of life would cause him to live forever. No, he said, mine. He said, I'm destroyed on every side. So Job was referring to himself. So when you look at Adam, he was destroyed on every side because he destroyed himself because his hope wasn't in Yahuwah, and therefore his hope was removed like that tree because he took that tree from him. You know what I'm saying? And he was destroyed because of what? Unbelief. Now, Job wasn't destroyed on every side for unbelief, but it's the same thing because when you take it to who you mentioned with Yahushua in the garden, tying that in together, and overcame against Adam, the adversary. That's how his hope was removed like a tree because what you had hope and expectation for was everlasting life because you know full well he knew he was going to live forever off that tree of life. He knew that. Because Yahuwah had to tell him that. If he told him one gonna kill you, you know he told him one gonna let you live. But you know what? That tree that let you live, it's like what I told you before. That nigga pulling up in the Benz. He don't know where the hell he going. But it looked nice. I'm gonna get in. But that tree of life, it probably wasn't as flashy and nice looking. You know what I'm saying? But it was solid and consistent. It ain't even taste all that good. I don't want that. I want the nice tree. Look at that tree right there. It's bitter. Now you're dead, big dummy. That what happened. Did it look good? Ain't nothing in there. The flesh nasty. What's the nastiest fruit that you ever see, that you ever tasted that you thought was gonna taste good before you ate it? Grapefruit? Dragon fruit? Well, you said dragon fruit too? That's 3 people for dragon fruit. Oh, that's rough. I ain't never had no dragon fruit. It look beautiful, huh? All I be seeing is the vegan nigga talking about, I like jackfruit. Nigga made jackfruit pulled pork. I'm like, why you want pulled pork? Vegan pulled pork. I don't want pork nothing. Vegan, non-vegan, keep that. And I don't want nothing taste like no pork. I ain't mad at him if it do. German cheese? That ain't no fruit, sir. But I bet it's nasty. But remember what he said and what it is in Jeremiah when he was talking about them rotten figs? He said those figs were so rotten, but they look nice on the outside though. Same way when Yahushua said you look like wetted sepulcher, beautiful on the outside, inside full of dead man bones. And if you're full of dead man bones, you know what you're lacking? You're lacking faith. You ain't got no faith. Genesis chapter 3 though. Verse 21. And unto Adam also and to his wife did Yahuwah Elohim make coats of skins and clothe them. Yahuwah Elohim said, behold, the man has become as one of us to know good and evil. Now let us put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever. Therefore Yahuwah Elohim sent him forth from the garden to till the ground from whence he was taken. That's where he destroyed on every side. Because he didn't have to do nothing. All he had to do was till the garden of Eden. That wouldn't have been no hard work. So he drove out the man and he placed the east of the garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword was turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. So what ends up happening? His hope was removed like a tree. Because guess what? He didn't remove the tree. He just removed you from the tree. Because he had been prevailed against. And that was just showing you insight into what was going to happen later. Stem outward appearance. That tree of life, that tree of good and evil, look and say what you want. That ain't what you. It's funny to me because it was the truth. That nigga say it's not called eating healthy. It's called eating a meal that can be made in 3 minutes. Mine at a restaurant, people don't cook this food fast. Example. Nigga expect the meal to be done in 5. Nigga, if you was at home, you waiting for 15. I can't trip about waiting on no food nowhere because it possibly might not be real. I possibly could be eating cardboard. It's definitely been an accusation made. People selling us. You know what I mean? So, and I ain't talking about on the grocery store level. I'm talking about pulling up the Aaron restaurant. You know, because the earth to be selling all these food these people selling. Whether fast food or sit down restaurants selling chicken. I went to the real chicken prices. Yeah, they got a lot of chickens jammed in there. I'm just saying, it's a lot of chicken being sold worldwide. I was thinking, there was a lot of chicken there, but I was thinking, but this chicken's coming through like a simple line like this. It's possible. But every minute, that's a lot of chicken. That's a lot of chickens. Are they real chicken? It just makes you wonder. Being produced at its normal rate and process. You know what I'm saying? So therefore you have abnormalities in the flesh, with abnormalities in the cells that are in the flesh, which will cause the abnormality in your cell. You know, ma'am? Not at all. Very rarely spoken of. That's how you know it's engineered. You all have to sit back and look at kind. Now, of course, though, they didn't have the ability to diagnose a lot of those things. But, you know, shoot, people only really started talking about cancer in the late 50s and 60s. So when you started hearing people talk about cancer on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? Mass production. The Industrial Revolution started in the early 1900s, but they still weren't on the food because, you know, they still didn't have the absolute. So, you know, you get the 50s and 60s, they started killing niggas. And once they figured out how they could do some GMO, it was over. Look, you know what I'm saying? And that's just from reading little history books and just observation. You know what I'm saying? That ain't even from no detailed research. That's just from observation. That was by the end of the small town farm. Yeah, once farms went corporate, it was over. That was over. It was over. You know what I'm saying? And then that began the proliferation of fast food restaurants, and that's when everybody became obese. Because people wasn't obese back then, because you had to work in the field, you had to move around. You ain't have, not at all. You ain't